Modern man is used to the fact that the road is an easy and safe way to get anywhere. However, some highways are not only difficult to access, but also extremely dangerous. The Air Highway seems safe, a smooth road with excellent quality asphalt. However, this has become the main danger. Accidents happen because of the same scenery. Looking at them, drivers simply fall asleep. In many countries, billboards, warning signs and steels are installed on highways to combat such accidents. However, there are none on this highway. Therefore, the death rate on the road is high. Atlantic Road is not only one of the most dangerous roads, but also one of the most scenic. The highway connects many small islands with bridges and viaducts. Atlantic Road is constantly being pounded by waves. Therefore, for locals, water on the roadway is a familiar phenomenon. Now the road has become a tourist attraction. It has also been given the status of structure of the century. The Passage du Goix Road only appears to drivers at low tide. It connects the mainland with the island of Noirmoutier. The road is 4.5 kilometers long. For drivers, there are stands at the beginning and end of the road with water arrival schedules. However, the warnings do not help. Every year drivers fall into the water trap. Special towers have been built to rescue such motorists. The sites offer a place to wait out the tides. This place has also become a public attraction. The locals collect shellfish here. The higher motorists go up the mountain, the narrower the road becomes. There are many sharp and blind turns. Travel is complicated by frequent fog and cliffs. Devil's Trampoline is a two-lane road. Locals know it practically by heart. Therefore, they drive fast even on buses. However, for tourists, such entertainment can be dangerous. Death Road, Bolivia. The most dangerous road in the world is located in the province of Yungas. The way of 70 kilometers runs through mud, steep slopes, and narrow passages. Downpours erode the road so that cars are carried away along with landslides. Due to dense fog, visibility is often less than 2 meters. Fatal accidents occur here every 2 weeks. That is why the section has been called the Road of Death. Kilankeshwar Road, India. Traveling 235 kilometers. On a single-track dirt road. Through several treacherous mountain passes is the Kilankeshwar Road. Add to that the threat of landslides and changeable weather, and you can see why it is one of the most dangerous roads. Incidentally, one section of the road, known as the Rocky Cliff, is narrow enough to collapse if you get too close to the edge. Ibarska Highway. Serbia, State Highway 22, known as the Black Highway or the Ibar Highway, is one of the most dangerous roads in Europe, as well as one of the busiest in the country. The highway connects Belgrade with other major municipalities in Serbia and neighboring countries such as Montenegro on the long, straight roads, interspersed with dangerous turns. Accidents are frequent, especially at night. Most of them are related to speeding or driving under the influence of alcohol. Transfegerash Highway, Romania, traveling 235 kilometers on a single track, dirt road through several treacherous mountain passes is the Kilankeshwar Road. Add to that the threat of landslides and changeable weather, and you can see why this is one of the most dangerous roads. Incidentally, one section of the road, known as the Rocky Cliff, is narrow enough to collapse if you get too close to the edge. Ibarska Highway, Serbia, State Highway 22, known as the Black Highway or Ibar Highway, is one of the most dangerous roads in Europe, as well as one of the busiest in the country. The highway connects Belgrade with other major Serbian municipalities in neighboring countries such as Montenegro on the long, straight roads, interspersed with dangerous curves. Accidents are frequent, especially at night. Most of them are related to speeding or driving under the influence of alcohol. Skipper's Canyon Road, New Zealand. Skipper's Canyon is a gorge in New Zealand that runs along the Shotover River. In 1862, gold was discovered in the area, necessitating the construction of a road through the canyon. As a result, the road was cut into the rocks by miners using only hand tools and explosives. Due to the soft rocks of the canyon, the surface can be very slippery when it rains and crumbly. When DRY.IT is characterized by steep descents, countless tight turns, and a width only wide enough for one-way traffic for 22 kilometers due to its well-known dangers. Car rental insurance does not apply to this stretch of road. James Dalton Highway, USA. The James Dalton Highway is a long stretch of road that connects the city of Fairbanks to the northern Village of Dead Horse above the Arctic Circle. This 666-kilometer stretch of road is named in honor of the Alaskan engineer and serves as a major route for trucks, carrying fuel and supplies for oil field workers. Only 1/3 of the road is paved. The rest consists of gravel and rocks. Adverse weather conditions, such as snow and ice, are the main hazards people face on this road. However, the isolation and the presence of polar bears on this road also increase the risk factor. And not for nothing, every year 300 travelers, and up to 26 cars left their lives here. This is confirmed by the numerous crosses all along the road. In 2009, a new road was built that met all the requirements of safety regulations. Residents stopped driving on the death road, but gambling travelers in no way want to stop playing games with fate and drive on another highway. Not only they choose Yungas Road for their extreme trips, but they also organize races in the most dangerous places of the road. Cyclists, motorcyclists, they rush at incredible speeds along the highway, enjoying the adrenaline. Therefore, the deadly account cannot stop. China, the Jiuling Tunnel, the second most dangerous road in the world, not long at all. Its length is only 1-2 kilometers. But even at this kilometer, you can meet all the charms of road life. Dust, mud, fog, rock falls, a rock on one side and a chasm on the other. The small mountain village of Guoyang had almost no connection with the outside world. Only a steep staircase, carved into the mountain, could connect the villagers to civilization. But this ladder was so dangerous that even the most dexterous young men sometimes could not climb it. People who lacked agility could not leave the village at all. The worst thing was that children had to walk on this dangerous road, and not all of them survived the journey. The villagers often asked the officials to help them. However, the authorities did not consider it reasonable to build any road to the village, where there are only 300 inhabitants. No one wanted to invest money in such construction. Then the residents decided to build the road themselves. 13 volunteers began tunneling through the rock. There were failures, as none of them had ever built a road before. There were those who died during the construction. Accidents were not rare. But those who remained did not retreat. They continued to build the road. This struggle of stone and man lasted for 5 years. For 3 days, the workers could lay only 1 meter, but they were not afraid of it. And in 1977, it was possible to drive along the road. The tunnel, which is only 5 meters high and no more than 4 meters wide, was built by ordinary villagers, without any engineering knowledge, without heavy machinery, without aids. And yes, there are no barriers. There is no lighting. And after rain, it becomes more dangerous 10 times. But now it was possible to go to the stores, sell surplus crops. And most importantly, there was a connection with the outside world. Throughout the tunnel, there are windows. It is through them that light passes. But windows, also create a serious danger. You have to be extremely careful not to fall through the window into the rocky abyss. There are 30 such windows. The width of the road is very small. It is possible to pass only by passenger cars. People also ride bicycles or motorcycles. For a kilometer here, it is impossible to miss a car that is coming towards you. The most dangerous roads on the planet. Who doesn't love traveling? And very many people prefer to go on vacation in their cars. They carefully study the map of roads. Look at where and what unique places to see. Look at where to make a stop. And you should watch YouTube and study the top most dangerous roads and make sure that your tour is not on these highways. Importantly, no insurance company in the world will take out life insurance if your route is through the most dangerous roads. It equates to suicide and paying for someone else's recklessness. No one wants to pay for it. There are so many videos on the internet about this topic. There they present different versions of which of the roads is the first and which is the last place in terms of danger. But, as a rule, dangerous roads are indicated everywhere the same. Here is our top of those roads that are best to avoid. Bolivia, North Yungas Road. Yungas Road is considered the most dangerous highway on the planet. The length of this road in Bolivia is 56 kilometers. On the way, you can observe all the factors of danger: landslides, fog of various densities, rock falls, nowhere there are no fences, and passages, in other places, catastrophically narrow. Elevation differences from 1200 to 4600. Meters above sea level give an idea of how steep the climbs can be on this route. From mid-autumn to early spring, it's the rainy season. The soil is eroded to such an extent that it's hard to imagine how cars get around. There's virtually no traction. Wheels slip, the car goes out of control. And only great skill of the driver averts trouble that in summer comes. Another trouble, fogs or a dust veil. Both are the worst for visibility. And it is impossible to make a mistake even on a centimeter. The width of the road in some places does not exceed 3 meters, but the road is not one way. That means that cars traveling in different directions have to meet here. And then drivers are simply forced to try their luck. One of the oncoming cars has to drive over the edge of the road and literally hang over the abyss. At the same time, it should be remembered that the road is covered only with soil, and it is an extremely unreliable surface that can collapse at any second. The road was built by Paraguayan prisoners. It was originally intended only to carry humanitarian aid between the lowlands and the highlands. But timber sellers kept squeezing into the caravan of buses. If you drive along North Yungas Road, you can look down on the clouds from above, because the road rises well above the clouds. Sharp ascents and descents, turns in the sides. There are more than 200 of them, all this at a great height. And next to it is the abyss, a huge canyon where the tropical forest is spread. It is breathtaking from beauty, but to be saved, in case of an accident, no chances. Back in the 90s of the last century, the road was officially recognized as the most dangerous highway in the world. Pakistan. Fairy Meadows Road. The road runs for 16 kilometers. The danger lies in the fact that its surface is made of gravel. The road is not maintained at all. There are no fences. However, there are landslides, avalanches, and terrible ice. There are constant weather tests here. There is cold, which makes the surface covered with ice. Then rains, when there is almost no grip on the road. And then mud. From all this, the cars easily fall down. But there is no hope of getting a grip on the barriers. There aren't any. 100 years ago, it was built by local villagers. And since then, the road is used not only by them. But no one is going to maintain the road. The whole road has different widths. There are places where a car cannot pass. So you have to take a bicycle or a motorcycle. The view from Fairy Meadows is fabulous. However, to admire this beauty, you have to risk your life. But there are still volunteers who are even willing to risk their lives for a beautiful photo. Afghanistan, Kabul Jalalabad. The Afghan road runs for 152 kilometers. Here, besides the fact that there are natural dangers, such as very high altitude, rocky precipice, river, lack of fences on many sections, people themselves create risky situations. All kinds of terrorist attacks, murders, kidnappings, various crimes, daredevil drivers. This is where the war was fought. And in fact, there was no more convenient place to think of. An ambush could be made anywhere. A car traveling along this road had nowhere to turn. On one side, steep cliffs. On the other, a river or a cliff. Maybe that's why there are still quite a few bandit raids there. The place is perfect for an attack. The victim has no chance of survival. The road connects the city of Jalalabad and the capital of Afghanistan. The road runs through Taliban territory. And this alone makes the road terrible, deadly for all travelers, and simply for those who pass on it. But since this is the main road in the country, if tourists are not in a hurry to enjoy such extreme, ordinary drivers have nowhere to go. They have to risk their lives every day. Even more surprising is the unjustified daring of the drivers themselves. Steep slopes are as if created to test the fortitude of those who are obliged to drive here. But there are those who flaunt their recklessness exhibits its recklessness. For example, passenger buses are carried along the winding path with great speed, breaking all the rules. And it does not matter that the passengers are waiting at home, and they do not seek to end their lives now. The drivers gamblingly rush at full speed on the most difficult parts of the highway.